Hello, Beckman students. This is Miss Bankston, the freshman counselor intern, and today I will be providing a lesson on mental health awareness, a very important topic that I'm sure we all hear about, but could probably use some more information and guidance on. So before we get started, please open Google Classroom and log into your grade level CCR classroom using the appropriate code and click on classwork to find the 10-5 mental health awareness lesson. Please take a minute to complete the pre-survey once you get logged in. So now that we've completed the pre-survey, let's go over what today's lesson will cover. We will first develop an understanding of what mental health is, how it varies, and why it's important. Then we will explore how experiences around mental health are different based on cultural background, followed by identifying common signs that you or someone you know might be struggling with mental health. We'll move on to learning some useful stress management strategies and coping skills, and wrap up by identifying people we can seek support from despite some of the challenges in doing so. We will conclude by completing a post-survey to determine what you've learned. To gain a better understanding of mental health, we are going to watch a short video on mental health literacy.
Have you ever wondered about the difference between the terms mental health, mental distress, or mental illness? The language out there can be confusing and sometimes even conflicting. When we use phrases such as mental health issue, mental wellness, or mental problem, no one really knows what we're talking about. Using the correct language not only helps us to intervene more effectively, but it also reduces stigma. We've got a tool to help everyone get on the same page when it comes to talking about mental health. We like to think of it in terms of a pyramid with these 4 different states. Everyone falls somewhere on the pyramid, with more people on the bottom and less at the top. In the bottom category, we have no distress or no problem. Everything's going fine, and we're generally enjoying ourselves. We may be spending time with friends, attending school, or even sleeping. One level up, we have mental distress. Mental distress refers to the everyday problems that we encounter. These are things that irritate us, things that we're worried about, or problems that come our way. For example, we might have an upcoming presentation to give, or we may have had conflict with a friend or had a flat tire. When this happens, our brain sends us a signal. It's called the stress response. Our stress response is the basis of resilience and adaptation. Once we successfully solve the problem, the stress response usually goes away because we've developed the skills we needed to adapt. We don't want to go out of our way and protect ourselves from these normal stressors of everyday life, because problem solving through these stressors is how we ultimately develop resiliency and the capacity to become successful adults. But oftentimes in life, we're faced with problems in our environment that are simply too big for us to quickly solve or deep breathe our way through. That's what we call a mental health problem, which is the 3rd level up in the pyramid. Mental health problems are serious events such as a parent dying, having a divorce in your family, moving to a new country without sufficient resources. Mental health problems may keep us up at night. They may cause intense emotions, and they may last for a long period of time. But remember, they're normal. These are difficult times when it's important to reach out to others for help. Mental health problems may require the support of friends, family, counseling, or just time. The top of the pyramid, reserved for the fewest number of people, is a mental disorder or mental illness. This includes diagnoses such as clinical depression, clinical anxiety, or bipolar disorder. A mental disorder is very different than a mental health problem. This is where we see something going on in the brain, a perturbation of usual brain functioning. This is where evidence-based medical and therapeutic treatment is needed by specially trained professionals. Remember, the pyramid is not a continuum. Mental distress does not necessarily lead to a mental health problem or to a mental illness. In fact, we can even be at each level of the pyramid at the same time. For instance, someone can have ADHD, mental disorder, be grieving the loss of a loved one, mental problem, have an upcoming exam that they're worried about, mental distress, and sometimes they can just forget all about it and feel fine. All of these levels or components of the pyramid are part of our overall mental health. We need to make sure that we don't define good mental health as never having a bad mood. Good mental health includes a wide variety of emotional states. There are times when we are frustrated, indifferent, happy, sad, lazy, joyous. These are all parts of life and normal fluctuations in our mood. If a person has a mental illness, it doesn't mean that they lose their mental health. So let's start using the correct language, because it really does matter. Depression is not the same as feeling sad, and ADHD is not the same as being hyperactive. When we speak from a common framework, we're reducing stigma and building the foundation for better mental health care for everyone. To learn more, check out teenmentalhealth.org. Have you ever wondered about the difference between
Okay, so the video discussed 4 different levels of mental health. Level 1 is no distress or problem, so we are experiencing a normal range of emotions, are generally happy, and don't really have anything that's a cause for concern. Level 2 is mental distress. You're experiencing some upsetting emotions as a result of certain events that require the use of effective strategies and skills to be able to work through them. Level 3 is a mental health problem, which stems from more serious events in our lives that may cause intense, longer lasting emotions, but is still normal to experience and just requires extra support. Lastly, level 4 is a mental disorder, in which disrupted brain functioning affecting thoughts, feelings, and behaviors is explained by a diagnosis and requires specific treatments. A few other important things to keep in mind is that a mental health problem is not the same as a mental disorder. One level does not necessarily lead to another, but you can be in each level at once. Good mental health still includes unwanted feelings such as sadness and anger, as well as moving through different moods. And using the correct language helps us seek the right kind of support and reduce stigma. So hopefully you have a better understanding now of what mental health really is and how you can make sense of your own. Now, as we transition to the next topic, everyone take 30 seconds or so to look at the image on your screens and discuss what you see with a partner. Okay, so hopefully there was variation in what people saw. Some of you might have seen a young woman who's turning away from the camera with her nose and eyelashes just peeking out, and her jawline and ear are centered. And now try to get that image out of your head if you see it, because others might have seen an elderly woman whose face is more centered, looking downwards, and with curly bangs, her eye right below them, and then moving down to her nose, mouth, and long chin. So, the point of this activity is to show that both are right, but our perceptions are different, just as our experiences with mental health are. And viewing something differently than someone else doesn't mean it's not valid. So now we are going to talk about how mental health is viewed, managed, and experienced differently depending on one's culture. And keep in mind that culture isn't just heritage or traditions, it's every identity we hold: race, ethnicity, gender, socioeconomic status, and so on. One consideration is that discussing mental health may be taboo, which simply means that it's a forbidden topic that is not to be talked about. There could also be distrust in healthcare due to historically unfair or harmful practices, as well as racial bias experienced. Family guilt, shame, or embarrassment might exist around mental health, and maybe there's different priorities, such as academic or career success, holding more importance than mental health. In certain cultures, people might turn to their faith or spirituality to overcome health related challenges. Another difference might be a focus on physical symptoms, which can make recognizing mental health problems difficult. Furthermore, fear of judgment or discrimination in seeking mental health services is a valid experience in many cultures. And overall, stigma, which refers to the negative attitudes surrounding mental health, is still very prevalent for many. So it's important to be aware of these differences in order to validate our own and others' diverse experiences when it comes to mental health, and maybe lead us closer to seeking support if we need it. Next, we have some common signs that may indicate you or someone you know are experiencing levels 3 or 4 on the mental health pyramid, those being a mental health problem or a mental disorder, and should therefore seek support. We have loss of interest in things you previously enjoyed, changes in appetite, feelings of hopelessness, sleep problems, easily irritable or frustrated, isolating yourself, lowered self esteem, loss of energy, excessive stress or worry, and impulsive or risky behavior. And this is not an extensive list, and it will be helpful to be able to recognize things that just seem out of character for you or someone you know when determining if you're struggling with your mental health. So, when we are struggling with our mental health, there are a number of strategies and coping skills we can use to help ourselves. We can spend time outside, talk to friends and family, and practice mindfulness, which you can do by paying close attention to your breathing, body, and your thoughts to be in the present moment. You can also use a journal to express your thoughts and feelings, eat and exercise regularly, spend time with a pet, try yoga or meditation, which there are a lot of videos for online if you need to be guided through. We can try to make sure we get enough sleep, listen to our favorite music or podcast, challenge negative thoughts and self talk, which can be supported by the use of positive affirmations, such as reciting, I am capable, or today is going to be a great day. Furthermore, we can use the wellness baskets around school, as well as practice breathing and muscle relaxation techniques. And similar to the common signs slide we just covered, this is not an extensive list, but only a handful of the effective options that exist for managing stress. And if you need any more ideas, you can see your school counselor or visit the counseling page that will be touched on later in the lesson. Now we are going to practice a stress management technique focused on muscle relaxation. And since we can do it in our seats, let's all try it together.
Progressive muscle relaxation. Learning how to deal with stress is a necessary part of life. Everyone deals with stress differently, so finding what works for you is important. Ready to try progressive muscle relaxation? We'll walk you through this easy, stress-relieving activity. Progressive muscle relaxation helps you relax your mind, relax your body, reduce tension, focus your mind, and calm you down. Here's how it works. Tense each muscle group. Hold the tension for 5 seconds. Release the tension. Feel the muscle relax. Try to visualize the muscle tensing and relaxing. Remember to keep breathing deeply through the exercise. Try to focus hard on each step. If your mind begins to wander, bring it back to the muscle you are working on. Let's start with your head. Close and tighten your eyes. Tense all muscles in your cheeks. Tighten all the muscles around your lips. And press your tongue to the roof of your mouth. Hold that tension for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Quickly release and relax. Now your shoulders, chest, and back. Raise your shoulders to your ears. Tense your back by pulling your shoulders back. Hold that tension for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Quickly release and relax. Onto your hands, fingers, and arms. Bend your wrist and tighten your hands into your fist. Flex your biceps. Hold that tension for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Quickly release and relax. Now for your belly. Pull your belly button in and tense all the muscles in your stomach. Hold that tension for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Quickly release and relax. Moving on to your legs and your feet. Tighten your thighs by pressing your knees together. Pull your toes towards you and feel the tension in your calves, thighs, and feet. Hold that tension for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Quickly release and relax. Breathe deeply and imagine a peaceful sensation flowing from your head, down your neck, into your chest, legs, and settling into the soles of your feet. Repeat this process when necessary until you feel calm and peaceful. Progress.
So as you now know, this technique is very simple and can be done in class. But if you're not comfortable with that, you're welcome to go to the counseling office and check in for a 10-minute break where you can do it there. Doing something like this is a great way to relax, and in the future, we will explore additional ways to manage stress. So we've hopefully developed a better understanding of what mental health really is, how it varies for people, and what we can do to manage stress or other difficult feelings. We also learned about signs that indicate that we may need support, which brings us here. Unfortunately, there are a number of reasons that people might not want to ask for support. You might not want to seek support due to feeling afraid or embarrassed. You might feel overwhelmed by what you're experiencing and not know what to do with it all. Maybe you don't know how to express your thoughts and feelings or are unsure of who to trust with them. There could also be cultural expectations preventing you from seeking support. However, there are people and resources that can help you work through these challenges in order to make sure you receive the support you need. So you can turn to friends and family that you feel comfortable with. At school, you have the counselors, the mental health specialists, teachers, and a lot of amazing office staff. Plus, there's the virtual wellness room that offers so many resources to support your mental well-being. And to help make sure that we seek support when needed, we are going to create a list of 3 to 5 people that can support us. So let's take another minute to go back to the mental health awareness lesson in our classwork on Google Classroom and open the mental health support list. Write down your people and take a screenshot or a picture with your phone to have it as an accessible reminder of who you have around to support you. Okay, hopefully everyone was able to complete their list. And to continue on the topic of support, this is what the homepage of the virtual wellness room looks like. Here you can listen to relaxing music, practice different movements and techniques as you follow along with the videos, outside resources you can contact, and more. So definitely give this page a visit. And on the left are your school counselors and the mental health specialist. You can see them in person or visit the counseling page under the academic tabs on Beckman's website to access additional resources and find out more about how the counselors can support you. All right, we have reached the end of our mental health lesson and we are going to take a post survey. But a quick note to teachers, please send a rep from your class to the counseling office with your wellness basket to have it replenished following completion of the survey. Again, here's where you'll find the post survey in Google Classroom. Thank you, Patriots, and be sure to take care of yourselves this year.